As I see it, this budget of the new finance minister, budget 2014, is a budget which has a lot of small ideas and a lot of small money, but very little direction on how the country will actually meet the challenge of sustainability, how we will meet the challenge of affordable, inclusive growth, and how we will make sure that growth happens, but it does not come at the cost of people and their livelihoods. So that balance that we need in this country and an approach that we need which will be able to look at the future does not exist in this budget at all. Well, you know, the budget does have very clearly three major thrust areas as far as sustainability are concerned. Firstly, it does put an increased tax of 50 rupees on coal, on dirty coal. As you know, that we have a clean energy fund, and that is made up of a cess on coal, and this budget has increased that cess to 100 rupees a ton. Now that is very important. It's a very clear signal that the government is serious about taxing the dirty coal and investing in renewable energy. The problem is that this government, like the last government, the cess has been collected, but the government doesn't know what to do with it. And what we would have appreciated is that not only would the cess be enhanced, but that the finance minister would say very clearly that this money will be directed towards clean energy projects and projects that work for energy access, which is that poor people, millions of poor people in India who do not have access to electricity today will get clean power, clean energy tomorrow. And that would have been a fantastic move ahead. The second big sustainability idea in the budget is clearly Ganga. There is no doubt that the government has highlighted the problem of Ganga. There is no doubt that the Prime Minister's commitment to clean the Ganga is very welcome. And this budget does put in perhaps the largest annual allocation for Ganga that has ever been made, some 2,000 crore. But again, we would have really appreciated it if the finance minister had also stressed the need to make sure this money is spent differently, because UPA had also put aside a fair amount of money for Ganga. It had also secured a 4,000 crore loan from the World Bank for Ganga. And the problem has therefore not been money, but it's been approach and the direction for the spending of the money. And that caution, that worry of the finance minister would have been very important as the program would move ahead. The third obvious big issue of sustainability that the budget puts out is climate change. It is important that the government has recognized the fact that climate change is urgent, that we need to deal with it. And it's also very important that the government has said that there will be a national adaptation fund for climate change. But the fact is that the government provides 200 crores for building a statue and 100 crores for an adaptation fund. I'm not sure if this speaks of the seriousness of the government in tackling what is clearly a life and death issue for very large numbers of people in this country. The budget has fallen back on all the hackneyed ideas of development which have actually not worked. I mean, I'll give you two examples. I'll give you an example of large solar projects. The fact is that when the UPA government came, it also announced ultra mega solar projects. And by the end of its tenure, it had begun to appreciate the fact that solar actually needs decentralized off-grid solutions, because that's what that technology, the future of that technology is. But this government goes back to thinking of big solar ultra mega projects. So it really does not recognize the power of solar in the true sense. The same comes with public transport. It focuses on the metro, but doesn't have a single word to say about buses. Ironically, it is in the Prime Minister's state of Gujarat, which is this government's model for development, that buses have been recognized, and that it has the best BRT, bus rapid transit system, and yet there is not even a word about buses. And instead, the finance minister provides 100 crore for a metro project. 100 crore means 1 kilometer would be built. So I am not sure again of the seriousness of the finance minister as far as public transport is concerned, and I'm certainly disappointed at the fact that what is successful and what is the idea of the future, the bus, bicycle, walk idea, does not even find a mention. Perhaps for the finance minister, these are not ideas that are not important ideas because they're old-fashioned, or they're just ideas which look too low-tech. But if high-tech is really the religion, then I think we are in serious trouble, and that's what this budget really seems to suggest.